If you're looking to build up your mileage safely,
then this video is for you.
in this video we're going to talk about how to safely increase your mileage week by week. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Between Miles. Today we're going to talk about how to safely increase your mileage, whether you are training for your first 50k, which is this series, or if you want to start running an even crazier ultramarathon, but also if you're training for your first 5k, 10k, whatsoever. It doesn't really matter what level you are at.
Yeah.
We will cover it. So we're going to talk about how you can do this without getting injured, basically.
Exactly. Especially if you're, maybe you feel like you sort of plateaued, you're on like, you're always running a certain distance. You're like, I want to do more, but I don't want to get injured.
Yeah, it's very plausible that maybe you're running 3 or 4 times a week and you always do a 5k or always do 10k. How do you go from there to a bit more? Especially indeed when you are training for a specific goal. So Liz, what would be your first tip for people that want to build up this mileage safely?
So first tip would be, are you using a coach? Are you using an app? Are you using something other than yourself to get to these goals?
Yeah.
I think that's where people should maybe start to look at. If you're say maybe taking running a bit more seriously, or you have a race in mind, find an app, find a coach. That way you're doing it in a safe way. That would be my first tip.
I think with a coach there, the coach is definitely going to keep an eye on this. You'll be able to discuss how you feel. They can make sure that you're not overdoing it.
Yeah.
With an app though, some of these apps are very good at being a bit more conservative.
Yeah.
In the amount that you run. But I think with apps, people need to double check if it's correct for them.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you check that? What's the tip there?
Okay, so the general rule of thumb is increase your weekly mileage by 10%.
Okay.
So you're taking your overall and increasing it and trying not to go over that. That obviously all depends on your training load and everything like that, but that 10% is probably going to start coming in those long runs, those easy miles.
Yeah.
Don't go, right, 10%, let's do it all in my speedy track session.
Yeah.
Let's just do loads of fast miles. No, you want to be adding those nice gentle miles in, 10% increments, and just see how it goes, test it out, go for a week, 2, see what your legs are feeling, see how you feel about it. That would be that's sort of the numbers on it.
Yeah, and I guess that you can indeed spread out that increase, so it doesn't have to be just on one run. Because sometimes start adding it just to their long run, but then all of a sudden that 10% at some point becomes a lot.
Yeah, sorry, I did not specify that.
Like that you can spread out. You did say you don't have to add it all to your speedy track session. Add it where it makes sense, and probably indeed mostly easy miles.
Yeah, easy miles.
And I think that it goes up to a certain point, because in the beginning 10% is not a lot, and in the end maybe 10% is a lot.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of feel your body and understand where it is at.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling, of course, any niggles or injuries coming, dial it back.
100%.
Do you have any tips for people for that? So imagine they're trying to do this 10% increase.
Yep.
Well, if you're struggling with time, you can spread it out over the week, do little bits here and there. What would you say when people feel like, wow, the 10% is just making me feel really fatigued or really tired?
Yeah, I think you have to look at your surroundings. I think you have to look at your stress levels, what you're doing at work, what other exercises are you doing? Are you going to the gym 5 times a week?
Yeah.
Are you, doing HIIT classes?
Yeah. Is
there something else draining your energy? And then also you need to look at your nutrition. If you're upping your mileage, you need to be upping your nutrition.
Yeah.
Like without upping your nutrition, how are you going to power those miles?
Yeah.
So I think those key things need to be looked at when if you're really tired and fatigued.
Yeah. And also make sure that you fuel that extra 10%, not just before and after your runs, but also during. Because if you start increasing by 10% and at some point maybe you start running 20 kilometers on a Sunday, or like us today, 30 on a Sunday, you want to make sure that you are prepared for that. You have the gear for it, that you have food with you or gels, that you have enough water. So making sure that basically all the aspects are in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess if you're someone that doesn't find the motivation, or maybe like you find it really lonely to go out on those runs and get that 10% in, how would you go about getting that 10% in?
Well, definitely run with friends. See if you can join a run club, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that will definitely help. Maybe if they're doing just shorter distances, maybe doing one shorter distance with them a week gets you your 10% week over week. So it doesn't always have to be an extra run on your own.
Yeah.
Or more on your own.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I'm a big fan of listening to podcasts and audiobooks.
Yeah.
Finding something that motivates you. Or another option is to look at your weekly schedule and to see if there are things that you do on a weekly basis that you could run to. Like maybe you can run to the gym and back. Maybe you can run to the start of the run club and back.
We're quite good at doing that too. Outdoor training, aren't we? That's
sure.
only like a 2 kilometer extra, but it's a great little addition.
Exactly, it gets me week over week like 6 to 8 kilometers extra, but they don't feel like that.
Yeah.
Because every single time it's just like 1.5 and you get to your destination. So they're very easy and light miles, super slow, no time pressure, except if I'm being late.
Yeah.
But it makes for an easy way to add extra mileage to your week.
Definitely.
And I think you can also do this when you're running with your friends. Maybe you can say, oh, we'll run to your house and then we can start together there. And then maybe you don't do it on the way back, but you know, you find these little ways to add some extra.
Yeah, 100%.
So 10% week over week. If you have a coach, your coach should guide you in this. If you work with an app, make sure that the app is doing this.
Yep.
Otherwise, see if you can adjust something.
Add in that nutrition, that sleep, that recovery for that extra 10% that you're adding on.
Yeah, and see how you can distribute the 10%. It doesn't all have to be in one run. Maybe at the start, that's the easiest thing for you. Maybe later on, it's just easier to spread it out. I think that's kind of the way to do it. And then, of course, listen to your body. If you feel signs of injuries, go to a physical therapist.
100%. Oh no.
Oh my God, we're so far away. I'm coming back. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's how you safely increase your mileage.
I think that is it.
And
before we go, just have a little look at this amazing scenery around us.
Beautiful view. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We read all of them, reply to all of them, and we're happy to help out. Okay, that was it for this short and sweet, but to the point episode of Between Miles. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.